Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad, being out of the loop is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the internet. Today, it is Tuesday, March 17th, 2026. We're brought to you by Incense Seguno, Postscript, and AMP, and we have a jam-packed show for you today. There was a significant Meta outage yesterday, last night. It caused tremendous overspending, and nobody's happy about what their budget is looking like now. Call your rep, prepare your refund paperwork. There's going to be a lot to dig into on that. A new AI CMO has arisen. The internet has a lot to say about this proposed tool, and Unilever is now devoting 50% of their marketing budget to creators and paid social specifically. What does that mean for all of us smaller fish in the sea? We are going to have Aman Advani, co-founder and CEO of Ministry Supply, on the show today, in addition to Brett Fish, D2C OG and knower of ball, to dig into all the technicalities that you should have set up on your ad account so then you can get incremental and up and to the right. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get in here. Let's go.
It is the day of my people. Colin Liam Doherty, St. Patrick's Day. It is the day of my people. Let's go.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Colin. Glad to have you on the show, brother. Glad to have you on the show. It's my island. It's mine.
Yes.
Okay. We have a very exciting happening that has come to us last night. I say exciting, but I also say disappointing, because basically everybody's money got spent without them wanting it to be spent on what are probably ill-advised impressions and an audience they weren't targeting in the first place. Meta had an outage, and it was a big one. This bot, this automated Twitter account, is run by Barry Hott. Did you know this? This was how I found out yesterday about the disruption in ads delivery. Oh, go back, Jack. Go back. I want to read that one for everybody. We missed it. There we go. Facebook Ads Manager status, high disruption ads delivery. We are aware of an issue that may be impacting ad delivery. Our engineering teams are aware and are actively looking to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. Barry had this to say next. Of course, this account is run by him, but he had this to say. Go to our next one, Jack. Barry is also coming on the show very soon, and he had some wisdom here. Try not to freak out about the overspend. This is a clear outage that just happened. I expect refunds to get sent once the dust settles. Here's what to do and expect in the weeks to come. And he's citing something that happened in February below here. It took Meta 4 to 8 weeks to actually deliver that refund. But David Herman had this to say on top of it. Lots of reactions here. This was a severe one, a severe delivery outage that just occurred on Meta. Massive overspending. Buckle up. And that turned out to be the case. Rock had this to say as well. Massive overspending. And some ad accounts almost double of what the daily budget is. Inflated bid cost caps were stopped by max spend daily limits. Thankfully, impressions were served, so don't expect any refunds. This is Rock's take here. Don't expect any. Impressions were served. You're not getting any refunds. Wake me up when March ends. And then lastly, Jason, who runs a nice size brand. Check your ads for the last 2 hours. We lost 100K. Need to push for refunds now. There were several people that were saying like, hey, lost 5K in 45 minutes, lost 10K. Jason lost a hundo over a 2-hour period. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see when you wake up. My question, though, is I don't know if we can do anything about it. I think this is kind of what happens when you play with the biggest of the big boys. And sometimes there is a hiccup. And it turns out for some of us, it becomes a 100K hiccup. Sorry to say. But I don't know if there's anything that we can do about it. What's your thoughts on this, Colin?
Chris, name another industry where you can lose $100,000 in 2 hours and kind of just have to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Can you name one? I'll wait for a
No.
sec if you can name
No.
one, because I can't name one at all.
Cannot. Unless it's gambling.
Unless it's
That's the
literal
only one
gambling at a casino.
yeah. That's the only one I can think of.
I want this to be a wake-up call to a lot of operators out there that Meta does not care about you. You need to stop over-indexing on top of Meta and think that Meta is going to save you when you need to be diversifying the channels. You need to be testing new channels. You need to be testing out AppLovin. You need to be testing out Whatnot. You need to be testing out TikTok Shop. Stop putting all of your eggs in one basket because you're going to lose $100,000 in 2 hours and not get a text back from Meta about any rationale. You're going to be lucky if you get any refunds from this. You're going to be lucky you get any refunds, and you probably won't.
That was a spicy take from you. That's a spicy take.
I'm
Wow.
fueled up today. I'm fueled up.
I think you added a little Tabasco in that coffee this morning. I think so. I think this is just kind of what it is. Meta is so large. They are so significant. They've got so much going on at such a high level. I'm not even sure, what really ranks on the meter of, hey, like we really need to do something about this. I mean, Rock made the point, like impressions were served. I mean, that's true. Impressions were
Exactly.
served. I could see them like verifiably, legitimately coming back and saying, hey, like, we serve the impressions, big boy. And
Yeah.
that's what you pay us for. You may not have liked how it happened, but we can talk about that at another time. Let's keep running with ads here. I could see that taking place. I really could. But not what you want to see. I think we wish that every small fish in the sea, and what is small to Meta, if you're spending less than $1 million a month, is that small?
Probably.
I would think if you're spending less than $1 million in ad spend a month, you're probably on the lower end for them. And I wish that we all mattered in the sense that I'm not saying everybody's not important, but I wish that every single problem that we had was, worth them putting a dedicated person. But, it's just not. They're huge. They're huge. And we wouldn't exist without them. So I don't want to, throw them totally under the bus, but it is what it is. And them's be the licks. And I think this is one everybody has to take. But I will say Barry seems to have hope that everybody will get some refunds here. And he seemed to have a playbook for actually getting them and how to go about doing it. We're going to have him on the show, I think, tomorrow. So we should definitely ask him about that when he comes, so that everybody can have a little hope, a little light at the end of the tunnel. Nobody wants to flush 100K in 2 hours on what are largely useless impressions.
Yeah. I mean, this has to be a wake-up call for the operator to realize that they do not care about you the way that you think they do. I would even bump the threshold up for small, because a lot of people forget that Meta has a lot of B2B SaaS operators as well spending ads that are willing to spend a boatload more money than $1 million a month. Imagine their larger clients like Visa, MasterCard, Amex, these massive, massive brands. And to say that $1 million a month is a big brand for them, I mean, that's laughable. There are probably B2B clients that are spending 10 to 15 a month that it's just like, okay, now you've entered our small boy leagues. Congratulations. We might have comms with you. We maybe will have comms with you. When you spend $50 million a month, we'll get somebody to talk to you and take a phone call once a month. But
my wonder is, in this new AI era in which madness is among us and built into the side or at the core of everything Meta is doing, is there going to be some kind of AI enabled, stoppage to all this thing? Or is there some kind of solution that media buyers and operators can, I don't want to say hack together, but somehow stop the leakage? I want to know if something is happening immediately, if there's some kind of delivery outage. And do tools like this exist? I'm sure that they do. Whatever tools like this exist, whatever solutions there are, I think they need to be brought to the table so that everybody can keep themselves from unnecessarily flushing money down the drain. Nobody wants that. And again,
Yeah.
I know impressions were delivered. I get it. But probably not the impressions that everybody wanted, and significantly doubling the daily budget. Nobody wants that. I would like to know, and I'm genuinely asking, what are the solutions here? Either that somebody has built themselves, or that some software company has developed, or what's coming on the Meta side. I would love to talk with somebody from Meta. Is there some kind of solution on the Outage side that can be delivered here to stop this from unnecessarily happening in the future? That solution, whatever it is, and whoever it comes from, needs to be brought to the table.
Yeah. If you wanted just impressions to come through, you could just, fork over the $500,000 for ChatGPT ads, because they're just serving impression data back to you. So if you just wanted impressions, move forward with OpenAI instead of Meta. But we need conversion events. We don't need just, these little impressions. We need
That's true. That's true. If you just want impressions, hey, we'll fork it over to Sam. Sam will he'll run that impression money. Sam, he'll do it. He'll do it. He'll do it.
That impression money is great.
Impression money is nice.
That impression money is nice.
But,
it's flowing.
Hey, I know at least Zuck wants us to get conversions, so I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Small win, big win, maybe. But
for the most that a brand can afford, he wants those conversions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He wants as much as you can muster.
Yeah, that's true.
Zuck, please, I don't have any more. I need $2 more. I need $2 more.
I need it.
Yeah.
And you need it. Pay those CPMs.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're just going up.
Okay. We have got CEO, co-founder of Ministry of Supply, Aman Advani, coming in here. But before he comes, we need to talk about Incense, ladies and gentlemen. Incense, we all want better ads, don't we? Of course we do. And we want ads that feature actual humans and were created by humans. But if I'm being honest, that process is so disjointed. Finding the right creator, manually negotiating usage rights, it is a headache and disjointed. That's why Incense exists. All-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform that actually makes creative scalable. All-in-one platform, a vetted creator marketplace, automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management. Get creative in as little as 14 days. It's so much better than just finding some random TikTok that you hope scales your account. This is about building real relationships with real humans who can get you real creative that's actually going to scale your account. Go to incense.pro, test drive, get the free trial for that platform today. Test it out, see how it feels to you. Tell them Colin and I sent you. Save yourself some headaches. Let's go up and to the right in 2026. Many thanks for Incense being part of the show. Now, Colin, the man who comes to us is a big brain operator. Is that fair to say? He hails from a part of the world where I think there are more high-level, top-tier Ivy League colleges per square mile than anywhere else on planet Earth. And he has done something unique in merging apparel and tech and making it performance workwear for everybody who's scaling Fortune 500 companies to the moon. I'm talking about the one and only Aman Advani. Get in here, Aman. Get in here. Oh. Aman, welcome to the show, sir. We are glad to have you.
Hey, folks. Thanks so much for having me. Big fan of the show.
Well, we are glad, man. I have known of and have followed Ministry of Supply for some time, but we have never gotten a chance to meet and talk, and this has been a long time coming. Aman, if you would, I would appreciate it if you just start from the beginning and give us a little bit of this origin story, because I have heard some wild things, my man. I've heard that you were sewing running socks onto the bottom of your dress socks when you were at Deloitte. And I've heard about this Kickstarter that broke records for the category. Is that true? And I'd love it if you just give us some perspective on the foundational level there.
That is all true. What good research you've done. I appreciate it. So you're exactly right. So a little background for me. I'm actually now we just moved to Atlanta. So where it is a cold day, and I'm in a fleece. It's warmer in Boston today than it is in Atlanta. So
is it really?
Yeah, so we're 6 months in here, but this is not what we signed up for.
Yeah.
But you're spot on. We started. So my partner Gihan and I both had the same exact initial vision, which was, how do we take all the stuff we love from our athletic youth, pursuits, and take them to all the stuff we hated. And my first job was at Deloitte, and getting on a plane every Monday morning, off a plane every Thursday night. And it's brutal, that hotel iron Tuesday morning routine where you're like unwrapping it from the closet,
Horrible.
trying to figure out how to like hang your shirt up in the shower to steam it out. And so it was all this stuff. This feels so archaic, right? And
Yeah.
why are we still doing this? So we came together. Gihan's first shirt, he cut out the center back panel of a dress shirt, took his running shirt, an old running shirt, cut out the center back panel of that, and sewed it in. He would go to these. Gihan is a world class runner, and he would wear these stretchy dress shirts under his blazer so he could move a little bit. He had a baggy blazer.
Yeah.
And it was that small little bit. And for me, I was doing the same thing with socks, as you noted, cutting out the soles of my socks and sewing in Nike insoles. And that was it, right? It was just like this immediate kind of Franken clothing that we created. Why can't we have the best of both? And that's, a decade later, that's exactly and only what we do.
Wow. I mean,
Franken clothing is a great.
Franken clothing is great.
Well,
you need to TM that. Yeah. I mean, you just referenced the fact that you've been in the industry for 10 plus years. I would consider you one of the OGs. You have seen this industry change, ebb and flow, up and down. How has this industry changed from when you guys started to right now in 2026?
Yeah, wild question. I mean, there's so many different angles on that. There's kind of the ecom, and then there's the clothing, and then direct consumer, all this stuff. But I'll start with the one that came to mind when you asked the question, which is ecom. And I'm sure everyone on this call can relate, is the biggest thing that shifted was valuing what we should have valued all along, which was you got to make money, right? If you're not profitable, there's no room for you. And gone to the days where scale will work it all out, because that has proven to be false so many times. So it becomes a level playing field where not every great product wins, but only great products win. When profit is critical, right? And so I think that's where we've really enjoyed it, is saying our focus on quality didn't always pay off because we weren't the cheapest option in most cases. So now we see that playing field level off to say across the world, particularly in DTC, where a lot of that kind of early arbitrage is gone. Cheap Facebook ads, cheap TikTok ads are moving away. Now you have to focus on better quality product and really excellent content.
Man, that is a bar. Not every great product wins, but only great products win.
If we're lucky, right? This is what we should all root for, right? Is it the best emerge?
Yeah, absolutely. Dig in just a little bit on the tech side here of what you guys do product wise, Aman, because I've found like NASA sourced, NASA involved materials. I mean, you get on the website and you see stretch, you see hotel sink washable, which is great copy, by the way, especially for solving that problem for traveling executives who are you're hitting it right on the head. They've got to somehow make their clothes look nice and get out the door on Tuesday morning, quick dry, wrinkle free. I mean, it screams the merging of the performance world on the athleisure side, on the athletic side, and looking your best to perform your best in the boardroom. I mean, give me some background on that tech side and what you guys have done to make one of the best products inside of your space for people who are in the working world and need to crush.
Yeah, well, I'll start with another bar, but it's not mine this time. I had a call. We do video or emails with customers every single day. So 1 video or 5 emails. Wow. That's the rule every single day.
Really?
And I had a customer actually yesterday, Keith, and he may be on because he's wonderful. And he had something, and we kind of got to this point where we said something like the sport of travel. And we talk a lot about travel because that is when you tend to be harshest on your clothing. So if it can survive a 3-day work trip, it can typically survive a 1-day office or coffee shop trip. So we play for the most extreme version. But what I think we take a ton of pride in, a lot of the materials have become a little bit more ubiquitous across the industry, right? So you see a lot more stretch dress shirts than you did 10 years ago. And so now the bar is risen, right? So how do you keep up there? And now there's kind of 2 other factors at play, which is within these performance techniques and performance fabrics, there's quite a range. You hear a word polyester, you think kind of crummy, Champion gym shorts.
Right.
There's a whole other extreme to that, right? That you can see with poly. Now, we also use a ton of merino. More than half of our styles now include majority merino, right? And so what is nature's best performance fabric? How do you blend them together? How do you sew them together? How do you, in many cases, about half of our styles are seamlessly printed on demand in New York, in Brooklyn. And,
wow.
And so it's starting to think about the entire tech stack, not just a materials innovation, right? So all of this can be measured from a durability standpoint when it comes to actual testing, machine washability, color fastness. But at the core of it, not to bore you, is thinking a lot more like we do in ecom about our tech stack in the product, not just our fabric. And I think that entire kind of holistic mindset is what should elevate the product in our mind.
Wow, man, that's got to give you an advantage, Aman. That's really good.
Yeah. I think the only real advantage we have, Colin, I totally cut you off, but is 5 years later, right? Is saying when somebody comes back to us and say, I've been using the same Apollo dress shirt for 9 years. I beat it up. I'm a wedding photographer. We got last week. This guy, Todd, and said, I'm a wedding photographer. I beat the hell out of this thing and it still runs. And that is, not to be too self-promotional here, but that's the goal, is what happens 9 years from now, right?
That's incredible.
Wow. You brushed over one of the craziest statements I think anyone has ever said, in the fact that you have a video call with a customer every single day and you also send 5 personal emails. Where did that come from? How long have you been doing that? And what insights have you pulled? Because basically you guys are now making a daily feedback loop of improving the product substantially, which I don't know anyone else doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah, Colin, it's really wild. It was a pandemic era outcome. We felt super lost, right? Travel was dead. Where to work was dead. No one cared about this stuff. We're like, well, what do we do now, right? 2 weeks, 2 years, who knows? And so we're like, all right, let's just start talking to people. And so actually, Gihan, my partner, does a lot better. He does 1 video call a day. I tend to send, I'll be honest, and maybe it's helpful for people on the call, we send about 100 automated emails from me a day. They're capped. And they have a 3 to 7% response rate, 3 to 6% response rate, depending on what's going on. So it ends up being on average about 5 emails a day that I receive back, and I engage with every single one of them. So awesome. It's something, it ends up being right around 1,000 a year. And those are individual touch points, but Colin, they're not all like earth shattering. I mean, my favorite one that I explain is like size 33, which we now offer. It doesn't have to be like wild, crazy insights to change business. Our number 1 selling waist size is at 33.
Seriously?
That's me.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a 33. Yeah.
I should have known I'm a 33, but it's one of these things where I think until you ask the question, it's like I was just sacrificing wearing a 32. And it turns out that I was not alone. There was a lot of people out there doing the same thing. So there's been a number of awesome big revelations. Small things break on the site. Customers are always the first ones to catch it. New product ideas, new color suggestions. Almost all of this comes from customers. But my favorite ones are I hate to call them dumb ones because they're not that, but the easy ones, right? So it was right in front of us the whole time. Why didn't we do that to begin with? But sometimes you got to hear it from the buyer's wallet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The video, sending videos to customers, the emails are, it reminds me of what Matthew at Pella. No. Matthew at Pella? Maybe I'm blanking on his last name, but they were doing the same thing. They were doing that same thing. And it seems like something that you cannot scale, so it's like, we can't do that. But, starting it in that nascent place of, hey, we're in COVID and we can't, people aren't traveling. Like, we've got to get feedback. We've got to reach out and have a higher touch point with a touch of personalization to it. That makes so much sense.
It is actually, it doesn't have to be scalable, right? It's 10 minutes a day. Yeah. And, like on average, 4.5 of them are really positive, right? They're people just saying, I love the clothes, love the gear, having a great time. Here's something I did with them. I'll reply and say, hey, can we use that testimonial in an ad? And I'll drop it into our ads channel. It's like 10 beautiful minutes a day where people tell you how much they like your stuff. Now, again, there is still the 1 in 10 and someone saying like, you really effed up. Like my order was a week late and it didn't fit right. And you get a lot from those too, but for the most part, it's just a lot of fun and really enjoyable.
Talk to me about zeitgeist of workwear, Aman, because as we all went remote for a period of time, man, it just seemed like, hey, the suits are going away. The pantsuits are going away.
PJs.
Like yeah, everybody's in PJs all the time. There is a significant return to office now, and I do think people want to. Maybe it's zigging and zagging and responding to what has come in the past, but I do think people want to dress their best more now. Have you seen that? How does that feed into what's happening with Ministry of Supply or not?
Yeah, I love this question. We've been talking about kind of the evolution of the wear to work wardrobe for years. Well before the pandemic, there was already this incredible casualization. But quick anecdote, we just wrapped up our summer photo shoot. And of the 12 hero shots, we were panicking. The team was worried about getting a belt, which we don't make belts. So we're like, I don't need a belt. Like someone's running Zara, someone's running the Banana. Like, where do we get a belt before the shoot? And it turns out we didn't think twice about it, but it turns out only one shot had a tucked in shirt of the 12 on the men's side. And it's just like styling from our team, right? They're pretty good at their jobs. They know what they're doing. And it just goes to show we think it's a lot more prescriptive, a lot more descriptive, a lot less prescriptive. So less of the tuck in your Brooks Brothers shirt to dark slacks, and more of the look sharp and clean. I'd much rather you wear a suit with a t-shirt under it than a super baggy, wrinkled, sweat stained dress shirt that doesn't fit, right? And this idea of like sharp, clean, hygienic, these things become a lot more potent and powerful than I don't care. Do you, but just do it in a way that's really sharp. And that kind of description is so much nicer. I mean, when I got to Deloitte on day one, I was 22 years old. We'll get a book. It had like 10 pictures in it. It looked like one of these 10, right? I'd love to see what that book looks like. If there are any young folks here that are just starting their career, send me the book. I want to see what it looks like now.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like in 2026.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy that you have seen the evolution so much of D2C. You've seen the evolution of workwear. You've probably seen kind of the evolution of how you're working with creators as well. And how are you approaching that kind of in 2026 where, you have TikTok Shop, now you have Whatnot, you have these crazy kind of channels now that didn't really exist when you were first getting started. So how are you approaching them?
Yeah. I think a lot of this in terms of like AI versus real is like, there's a wider existential question here of what we do. One of the biggest things we try to do is actually create 2 lanes. So on our site, you can talk to our GPT, which is extremely well trained with all of our information, or you can talk to a real human via phone or email, right? So you have these 2 parallel paths. One's going to be immediate and has actually a lot more information than our humans, just because it's been fed so much. Mm-hmm. The other will be empathetic and can pull strings and work around the system for you, right? And can get things done a lot faster. So. But the same is true with creators, right? Like we'll certainly use AI editing tools to take our pictures from where they start to where they need to be. But we just signed a big package deal to do a bunch of awesome UGC content with this cool California company that does a bunch of like street content. It's like, well, this is the stuff I like. This is the stuff I watch. Perhaps you could recreate it, but there's something really special about real life and those moments of, like, we call it the cupcake test, when your kids wipe their hands on you, right? These little moments that are almost impossible to, create from scratch, but when they happen, you can recreate them in real life. So trying to find the world where we can live in both lanes, with the best of AI and the best of real life.
It seems to be that is the necessary tension for us all to live in, is to still create human-driven, human-featured, compelling content that our audience loves, while at the same time making the most of every tool and capability that we have to drive down OpEx as much as possible. Another thing that I'm really bullish on here in the future, Aman, is just in real life experiences, or I would say kind of outlandish things, stories that people remember. And then one thing that I have heard that you guys have done a couple of times is that you've done half marathons in your suits and things like that. I mean, tell me about that. Is that true?
We still do this. We did our founders retreat. Ihan, Geraldo, and I did our founders retreat, and we competed to see we all 18 liters of capacity. And it was like, what are you going to do? It's 3 days in Shenzhen, China, visiting a warehouse. And it was our little founders retreats. We were going to coffee shops and wine bars and such. And it's like, who can survive the longest on the least, right? Gihan's Gihan and his wife both ran the fastest Guinness World Record holders. I think his has been broken, hers maybe not. Fastest half marathon in a suit. But we used to take weather balloons every year and celebrate our anniversary by launching our Apollo dress shirt, which was one of our marquee products, launching into space, and then we tie a GoPro to it with a camera, and we go recover it, and then we get this cool footage of like a shirt flying over the curvature of the Earth. But like, this is again, this all should be fun, right? It shouldn't just be a matter of like, ASTM standards and testing labs, which is great and it has to happen, but let's enjoy it a little bit too.
Yeah, why not take a moonshot every now and again?
Right. A literal moonshot.
Yeah.
Moonshot.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. Tell us as you're coming up on 2026, or we're in it. I guess it's 20% gone, really, already. Man, what excites you with Ministry of Supply this year, decade plus in? What's coming up? What gets you out of bed in the morning excited about what's coming with Ministry of Supply?
Yeah, so I think there's like two answers I'll give you there, and they're maybe a bit boring, but on the kind of left side, we just think like it's supply chain demand and supply. On the product side, like travel is so much fun. We've kind of finally given ourselves permission to just really play, and we've got some really amazing travel stuff coming out. So that's my quick plug. Like, the product is really still what gets me out of bed. And like we're a clothing and travel company before we are an ecom company, right? And I think that's true for every ecom company. That's just how we choose to sell. But Colin, we met. The second part of my answer is like the widget universe is getting awesome right now, and I get up, and the first thing I do is check the last 5 widgets we installed to see if see what's working, right? Like Colin, you know this about me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I love this stuff, right? There's so many cool tools.
True.
I built one myself the other day for email testing, right? Like,
what
a joy it is to get to play and fine tune this stuff. One of the things we talk so much about is cycle time. It's saying from idea conception to the end of the test shouldn't be longer than 10 days, to the end of the test. And so that's what I get up in the morning doing. Is today's day 3 of our heart convert test. Today's day 5 of our ARITA test, right? Like we get to do these little, and I check it every morning. And so that's what I get up and out of bed. It's product moves slowly, right? But widgets move quickly, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Man, it really seems to be the case, man. Builders can build faster than ever now. I mean, I was up late into the wee hours of the morning working on something, but I really wanted to be doing a new widget, which I've got in my back pocket. But I think to that end, like the one piece of advice that comes with it is you got to be really discerning, because you're going to get widget overload, right? And this was happening. I remember 5, 6, 7 years ago when people were starting to figure out PPC ads at scale, and the widget universe came up, and it was auto bidding and all sorts of wild things that people could plug in, and these kind of crazy lookalike audiences and stuff. But now that's settled, and now we've got this new immersion. So just go in thinking that there's at best 1 in 3 chance that you move from trial to real life. Yeah. And if you can come in with a bar like that, then take all 3 trials and see what happens. Right. Let the winner win. Wow. That's awesome. Aman, we appreciate you making the time and joining us, my friend. For everybody who's listening, man, tell us where to find you, where to follow you, and where to get some of the best workwear on the internet if we want to live and play in the performance of work.
I love it. Before I do that, I'll say, first of all, quick thanks to both of you. This is such a wonderful, the energy is incredible, and it's such the world needs this, right? I think it's like, let's make it fun, right? I just, even hearing you talk, I get excited. So, and then shout out to She Is Worthy Co. for this kind comment section. All right, way to go. That I'm really digging over there in the chat. Awesome. Ministryofsupply.com. Go check it out right now. And if you got to start somewhere, a backpack or an Aero Zero shirt are my 2 recommendations.
Nice.
Appreciate that, man. We thank you for joining the show. We look forward to having you back, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
I think you guys can see the chat. I can't see the chat.
No, I know.
Somebody can see. Aman can see all the any kind of comments. I can't see them. But anyway, I'm glad. Man, he seems to be a very zeroed in operator.
Dialed.
He's not, on a beach somewhere. He's not checked out. He is in it to win it.
Yeah.
And, running tests every morning, building widgets,
Yeah.
testing widgets, efficientizing, that's not a word, but making efficient their supply lines, etc. I mean, he's in it.
But he also is balancing too the fun side of it. He's talking about, hey, like I still want to have fun with this thing. Let's have fun with this and let's do some fun stuff. Because that's what it's all about. If you're not having fun with this, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he should. I mean, when Ministry of Supply is where it is, I mean, they've been so successful over the years. Crushing. Good on him. And I was looking at those bags. They've got one that's called the Boston One bag.
Yeah.
I've got family that comes from that area. So anytime there's a little New England homage being paid, I always pay attention, but I like the look of that bag.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move forward, let's talk about Seguno, ladies and gentlemen. Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. That means your emails and your pop-ups and your banners and your reviews are all in the place that you work and play every day. Why is that important, Chris? Is it merely just for ease of access? No, it's much more than that. It's much more than that. Your Shopify data is your email data, and your email data is your Shopify data. You don't have to trust some duct tape together integration that you hope is syncing segmentation and such back and forth completely. This is email 3.0, and this is a reason why Seguno won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your staff, Seguno was built for you. Lean teams with big aspirations. One-click automations, real humans who can help you. If you go to seguno.com, I'll give you a free trial. You tell them Colin and I sent you. They'll extend that free trial to 30 days. Go to seguno.com. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Next, we have Brett Fish coming up here, but we should give him a little time to hop inside of this show. One thing that I really wanted to hit on that we'll hit more on later that was especially prescient inside of our meta conversation. Unilever is dumping even more, nearly double the amount of ad spend that they're devoting of their marketing budget to social and to creators. And I don't think this is good news for those of us who are little fish. I think this means that only CPMs are going up and to the right even more. This has always been the common trope. And the advice is like, hey, spend as much as you can on meta now, because once the big boys wake up and start dumping their war chests inside of this thing, it's only going to get more expensive for everybody. I think this is a real point that we all have to bring up and think about as we move forward in ecom. Is that fair? I mean, ad costs are only getting higher, but they may be getting higher quicker.
Well, I mean, we just had Jake, the founder of Cal AI, on the show, and their entire go-to-market was, we need to give as much physical cash that we have on hand to influencers, where I would argue they were probably 90% allocated, maybe even 95% allocated to influencers.
Yeah.
And you just saw what the result of that was. They just had a very sizable 9-figure exit within a very short time period. And so those types of exits, they garner a lot of attention. They garner a lot of the news cycle. And big boys start to pay attention and they go, how did they do this? Wait a minute. They did this with just creators? We got like $20 million of budget we're not really using. What if we just give it all to creators? I mean, these guys are small fish. Let's see what we can do. We're Unilever, or we're Warner Brothers, or we're Paramount, or we're Netflix, and we have $100 million to deploy. Yikes. That's going to get pretty pricey.
It will be an interesting game that we see play out. There may be more creators that are getting the bag from very large companies, which is great. It's great for them, but every operator inside of e-commerce should take note and maybe start building some of those relationships now while you can, before they start getting Netflix money. Okay. We have coming inside of the show one of the OGs of D2C. I am talking about the very first member of Foxwell Founders, #1. He even beat out Rock Hladnick. You know, we had Andrew on yesterday, and people were fighting, saying I was first. I think I was #1. No, that prize goes to the man who's coming inside of this show. I'm talking about the founder of TagHero, Brett Fish. Brett, get in here, Brett.
What's up, Colin and Chris? How are you guys?
Boy, we're even better. We're even better now that you are here, my friend.
Oh, thanks, man.
I have been wanting to talk with you for a significant amount of time, and I will tell you why. Your expertise is largely a black hole for me when it comes to the technicalities and getting into Google Tag Manager and making sure my pixel or my Cappy or what is all set up correctly such that Meta can get signal from what is happening in my account. It's a black hole. And I think for a lot of perhaps non-technical people that are inclined like myself, that may be the case. Brett, if you would, man, I'd love to just start out from this standpoint. Man, what is happening on the technical side that you see when you review accounts and people come to you, you talk with agencies, you talk with founders? What is going on that's like the top 3 boneheaded issues, things that are happening inside that should be fixed quickly such that people can get an incremental return on that piece of their business?
Yeah, sure. First, I will say, I think Rock might have actually beaten me and been the #1 member in
No.
And I only say that because Rock is my boy. We've hung out. Like, I love Rock. So I have to give the hat tip. He might have been the first one in there. I was one of the early ones, but he was in there. So I'll let Rock have that honor. Okay. So the main thing that I always point out when I talk to clients is, in general, the data side of things is very foundational and critical to success on the platforms, but it's kind of under discussed, right? It's kind of that no one really wants to talk about it. They hope it's working well. Creative landing pages, offers, all that stuff, super critical to success advertising on the platforms. But these are all algorithms at the end of the day. So it's like anything else, garbage in, garbage out, good data in, good data out. So if you want to run your ads as efficiently as possible, successfully as possible, the data is an important component, that you're feeding these platforms as much data and as accurate of data as possible. So I always set that as kind of the foundation, is just get familiar with it. One thing that's always surprising to me is the number of clients we work with who have never really been, like, Meta definitely has the most like sophisticated overall data setup of the platforms, but they've never been in their Meta Events Manager, and they don't know what it looks like, and they don't know if it's good or not good, or if there's something broken or not. So getting familiar with it and just kind of like ripping off that Band-Aid and knowing what it looks like, I think, is kind of a step one. And then there's a few things that we see overall, as far as like auditing is by far our most popular service at TagHero. So we do hundreds of ad account and event manager audits a year on their tracking and their data. So there's a few major things. One is making sure you're sending all of your events via both Pixel and Conversion API, which is Conversion API, or CAPI is Meta's name for server-side tracking. That's one. Everything changing in the landscape, pixels can get dropped and lost, and Meta actually provides some metrics on like how much additional conversion data you send that you capture via CAPI that you wouldn't have without it. Like if it was only Pixel, what you would lose with like pixel drop. So that's a big one. Making sure your EMQ scores, and we can talk a little more about EMQ because there's all these acronyms, right? CAPI and EMQ and FBC, and it kind of gets convoluted. But making sure your match rates are maximized, and we can talk a little bit more about what that looks like. That's just saying to Meta, with Meta, for example, EMQ is how well can Meta match my actions on your website after clicking an ad with users on their platform. So if I click an ad and I go to your website and I'm looking at products and adding things to cart and then purchase, how well can they attribute that purchase to me as a user on their platform, so that then they can go and serve their ads to other people like me who are likely to purchase. So it really drives that optimization flywheel. So that's a big one. And then just making sure that your event setup is clean. Like, I can't tell you how many times we go in and do an audit and there's duplicate events coming from either a summer intern set up a Google Tag Manager container on the site like 3 years ago, and no one knows. Meta has a codeless tool called Event Setup Tool that I call the silent killer, because it's not present anywhere in the code, but it'll be sending events. So making sure your events are clean and accurate, volume counts and things like that. Those are probably, I'd say, the 3 biggest low-hanging fruit things.
Colin, I'll let you take this here, but before we get there, I just want to say, like, this kind of saddens me. It kind of discourages me because I am like the operators who you just described. They're thinking about CRO, they're thinking about offers, they're thinking about ad creative, and I'm like purposefully blacking out this piece that I'm out and just hoping that it works. I am, because I don't, you're going to tell me to get into Google Tag Manager. I'm like, oh gosh, I'd rather just go make a different ad, really, or evaluate my EMQ or whatever. I make sure my data is clean. I'm like, I'm going to go make some more ads. And so I'm a little saddened that this is such a real thing, but it is. And so I'm glad that you're showing me the light. And I think,
and candidly, I mean, that's why we exist. I had an agency for almost 9 years, and this was TagHero was kind of like an accidental like spin off. We got really good at doing this for our clients, and then we were a Meta technical partner for 5 years. So we were a vendor of Meta, helping their advertisers fix these things and clean them up. We're a badge partner with TikTok in the same capacity, but that's why TagHero kind of came to be. There's a need out there, and not many people are familiar with it. And we kind of had to keep ourselves in-house and figure it out. And then, we've been able to share that with others, but that's why we exist, is coming in with our lens and making sure this stuff is all dialed in.
I'm glad that you exist. Even if it was accidental, everybody, we all need it. Even if it was accidental.
Even if it makes you sad. I'm
Brett, when I think about what you're talking about, I immediately think about you as the data plumber that is connecting and putting all of the stuff together, making sure the pipes are all connected. We had Adam Turner, the CEO of PostScript, on the show, and they're collecting a ton of conversation data right now. Same with the large language models. OpenAI is collecting a ton of conversation data.
Right.
When do you think that pipeline starts to go back to Meta as enriched data? Because that's kind of the next opportunity where, as everyone on this call, we use these large language models all the time. They're building a profile on us. So imagine if you could get that data back to Meta. Meta serves you an ad. It's beautiful. Your CPMs go down. The world is whole again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, because I actually think Meta's data model is going to have to evolve a bit to keep up with these new, because like the data that you can send to Meta right now is very structured and specific as far as what they want. So like, as a perfect example, you go to a website and make a purchase. Okay, they want you to send a purchase event back to them that happened. Checkbox 1. Number 2, they want you to send a bunch of info with that purchase event to give them more detail and context. What was the value of that purchase? What products were purchased? So if you have catalog set up with Meta and things like that, it can actually understand these were the products that were purchased as part of this purchase event. So they want all that data. And then they want all that EMQ data also that we just talked about who is making that purchase, so that they can find that person on their platform, right? So they want this like really robust but structured data set that I think they'd have to sort of augment, append to, enhance for some of these like things you were talking about, as far as like this sort of conversational type data or interaction with LLMs, like what that data looks like. Because right now within the structure, other than maybe some like user identification stuff, like there's not like extra fields to add that stuff in, but they might evolve their data model in time to accept more of that, because when it was built, LLMs and interaction, things like that weren't a thing. So they might have to grow and evolve with that. And there's a whole new frontier coming, on that topic with LLMs and now ads within, AI chats. And how do we attribute, what does attribution and tracking look like in those situations where a user actually finds you on ChatGPT and then clicks through and makes a purchase, and like, what does all that tracking look like and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of evolution to catch up with this rapid pace of adoption that's happening.
Yeah.
Brett, tell me this. I love Meta. I love Zuck. I love it that he has given us all a way to have a career, basically.
For sure.
But I will say, at times, it feels like I'm wrestling an enigma. It's like a mystery wrapped inside of a large blanket that I'm trying to feel my way through. And where is success? I don't know. What's wrong with the account? I don't know. There's a lot of times that they feel stuck. It's like I don't know what's going on here. I've had a number of friends in the health and wellness category where it's like, man, I don't know what happened, but a year ago, CPMs doubled for us. And we've been trying to figure it out ever since. I feel like if anybody knows something to give us some clues about what may be happening, do I need to start a new account? I'm launching a new category. I feel like if anybody has some read on things like that, you would. Give me some thoughts on that. What should people look at when they're stuck? If they're thinking about launching a totally new category, how should they know if they should start a new ad account? What's going on the health and wellness side? I know I'm giving you multi-layers here, but I think that you've got it.
That we can unpack. Yeah. So the first thing I would say is I wish I could unravel all the mysteries of Meta. I'd be making probably a lot more money than I do right now if that was the case. But because there's some things that candidly just, we were a technical partner of theirs for 5 years. We worked pretty closely with their solution engineering teams, and we had a lot of access. And even then, there's a lot of stuff that I don't think anyone fully knows kind of how it all works and interconnects, maybe outside of a few select people within, and they don't talk about it. A couple of things you mentioned, though, I think that we could go through, like that are a little more tangible, like especially on the data side. So the first is, and I was just having a conversation. I don't know if you've had Daniel Okon on the show, but I was having dinner with my buddy. Yeah, he's a great dude. You have to have him on. But I was having dinner with him last night, and we were talking about this. Meta kind of tends, and pardon the nerdy sci-fi reference, but like, in Star Wars when Luke's attacking the Death Star and he gets down in the channel and to avoid the guns, Meta gets in these grooves of optimization, and it can be great. Like when you get in this groove between the ad account and the data and everything is just working and you're in this groove. If anything disrupts that groove, it can be really hard, if not almost impossible, to get back into it, to like recapture that magic. And it can be thrown off by a lot of things. And I know that all sounds very nebulous, but that's about where the, like, I think understanding of it, because to your point about new ad accounts and whatnot, we've seen numerous clients now where they have a hero product they've sold forever, consistent AOV. They have found their audience. They have found their targeting and their optimization. It's running ongoing really strongly and well. They want to introduce a new product category. So like, something with a bigger AOV, kind of a little bit of a different customer under the same brand. Do you really want to start introducing that purchase data into the existing purchase data for your hero product? Because now that's maybe like, let's say, we haven't worked with them, but Ridge, and I don't know how they handled it, but Ridge had their $80 wallet forever that was like selling like hotcakes, and then they have like luggage that's like maybe like I don't know, $500 or $600 AOV or something like that. Do you want to cross-pollinate that data at the risk of throwing off the groove you're in with your existing hero product in AOV? We also we had a client it was a supplement brand that was started by a really large health influencer, and all of their initial targeting was followers of him because they knew that they would buy whatever he kind of endorsed. But when they tried to expand to a broader TAM and like reach a broader audience, it really struggled to optimize and scale outside of that. It had gotten really laser focused, delivering conversions to that group. So those are situations where we sometimes will advocate for it can be a lift and a hassle and pain in the butt, but like possibly trying a new ad account, or at minimum separating out campaigns within your ad account and connecting them to a different data set so that at least that data pipeline is separate from the one that is kind of, on your hero product and things like that. So those are some of it's a jarring of the system usually when you reset it, because for whatever reason, it can't realign is the
From my perspective on this, I would just rather start a new ad account, because we tried to do this at Camskins. We tried to launch several supplemental products, but it was so tied to our original product that I was like, do I launch a separate ad account entirely? I didn't end up doing it, but I totally understand where it's such a jarring to the system where it just doesn't make any sense anymore. And I was like, well, your AOV used to be this. Now you want it to be this. Well, what's going on? I mean, that's a crazy good insight.
And to your point, it's a hard decision, because it's on one side, you're like, I'd love to leverage the learning and the current data and optimization that we've paid for with all of our ad spend over here. But then at the risk of, and we've just had that conversation, I'd say quite a bit over the last 4 to 6 months with clients, of either, hey, we're struggling to, move outside of this focused audience, or we're introducing a new product, and kind of that conversation around the data, and like, do you mess at all with what's currently happening and working right now, or do you try to silo it off a little bit? So there's that. And then we can talk about the health and wellness thing.
Please.
That's been a major curveball. So I will get off my soapbox, because I talk about health and wellness and not. We were kind of like accidental, inadvertent, not experts, but like we dove into that really early on. And so we've had a lot of conversations about it. But the quick take is, beginning of last year, Meta introduced this new category for data and advertisers called their health and wellness category. And the first wave that launched kind of early last year was if you were advertising to a specific condition. And this is all a CYA for Meta, because they're getting plastered with class action lawsuits around health, privacy, and data and things like that. So they're trying to put guardrails in place so that they can say, when they get those lawsuits, like, look, we did these things, it's not on us. So they rolled out this first round, and it was going after advertisers who are advertising to a specific condition, with the idea of like, if I don't have athlete's foot at the moment, thankfully, but if like I'm searching for like, or if I click on an ad for athlete's foot treatment and I buy a product, then someone in my house might get retargeted with like athlete's foot stuff. And they're like, do you have athlete's foot? And it's this violation of privacy. And the original restriction blocked all your lower funnel events. So anything below a view content. So add to cart, initiate, checkout, purchase are blocked and went away. So that was phase one. And the popular workaround of that was using custom events. Even though Meta said, don't do this, that was, even Meta reps were telling advertisers, use custom events, you'll be fine. So you'd replace your purchase event with a custom event called, like, let's say success, and every other way of purchase. And you'd optimize toward that. And that worked pretty well. And then the really interesting turning point was midway through last year, they expanded the categorization. They added a new subcategory called other, which is really broad and benign, and no one knows exactly what the criteria is and who fits in it and doesn't. The restriction on that was not losing lower funnel events. They put you in what Meta calls core setup, which core setup is just, it closes some data loopholes. It shouldn't really have a big impact. But what we saw immediately across dozens and dozens of accounts was, as soon as that data set was categorized as health and wellness, they saw an immediate negative impact in their ad account. Conversion rate drops, increases in CPM and CPAs, struggling to spend against budgets, things like that. And originally we tried to reason it away with seasonality, macroeconomics, right? Like everything else you go through in your mind about why things aren't working. But when we saw enough of these causational, like, here's the categorization, here's the impact in the ad account, it became obvious that the actual technical explanation Meta gives of what happens doesn't line up with what we see. What we see is, as soon as your data set gets that health and wellness categorization, there's this negative ad account impact. A client called it a mysterious force. I think that's about as accurate as we have. And as an aside, I'm not totally convinced that Meta knows why. And I'm also not convinced that they even know how to pull it back, because we've also seen a lot of clients who have appealed, requested the manual review and appealed that decision. They have pulled it back, but the results stay horrible. Like, it doesn't rectify and straighten out. So it's almost like the throwing a rock in a lake and the ripple, right? I think once that rock drops in the lake and that ripple goes out, I don't think they can pull it back and claw it back. So we've seen it hit a lot of advertisers. It seems we haven't seen a lot of like recent waves of those categorizations. So hopefully it's maybe cooled out a little bit by now. It's an automated process, but it's definitely thrown a wrench, in a lot of advertisers' like efforts, and definitely a frustration point.
Wow.
Would
I'm not.
you? Yeah.
I'm
would you
not
recommend-
hearing. I'm not hearing much ways out.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm just thinking, would you recategorize from the get-go and just say, hey, you're going to be categorized as beauty, or you're going to be categorized as whatever, and we're just going to ride this wave instead of diving into this, even though it's factually correct. We're just going to ride. We're going to hold the line here, and we're going to say you're this category.
Sorry, can you say that? Can you say that again, Colin?
Yeah, are you talking about like starting a new account, Colin, and trying to get
new account,
something else?
Exactly. New account categorizes entirely something else out of health and wellness to basically avoid it entirely.
Unfortunately, you can't do that. So what happens is anytime you send data, we're talking about earlier, Chris, about let's send all the data to Meta. When you send that data, Meta is scanning and reviewing that. So it's not only scanning the data that you're sending, but it's also looking at the website that it's coming from, and it's crawling that website and its content to look at what's there. So this automated review process for the health and wellness, as soon as you start sending data to Meta, it's going to know what it is and categorize you. Unfortunately, with, I would say, normal day-to-day approaches is not something you can avoid. There are solutions available. There are sort of workarounds that exist, possibly ones that TagHero could help with if you need help. It is not a plug, but I also have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to advertise that, too heavily that we're offering solutions and workarounds on that. But there are some possibilities that exist as far as like how to combat that are pretty successful. But overall, it's been tough on advertisers because there hasn't been a lot of communications. There hasn't been a lot of clarity and explanation. And there's a lot of advertisers that have had to deal with this amongst all the other things. Now they can't use credit cards anymore to pay on their accounts and get points. Now they have to get invoiced, like all these other wrenches. It's just like one more, thing to have to deal with, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think everything that you've said has provided so much interesting context for like what we live in and work on every single day. Even sometimes even Meta, they don't know why it works that way. I mean, that's so interesting. But you slipped in some very important information, that nobody can officially offer any kind of help, but maybe they should talk to you. Maybe, that
we'd be glad to explore what's possible.
Slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs.
I'll say this too, Brett, for being a man of data, a data man, you break the mold. You break the mold of the typical data man. You expect, somebody who lives in a dark room for 18 hours and has 3 sets of glasses, and yet you're on here, and I think your testosterone's through the roof, and you got muscles bulging out of the screen.
It's like it's like the founder of OpenClaw. They're both just absolutely jacked killers. Just crushing. You and the founder, Peter at OpenClaw. They're just crushing it, mogging on us. They're frame-mogging us.
Frame-mogging. I'm happy to be frame-mogging.
As a man of data, But no, that's what, in a way though, that's what we try to do, is have it be a little more relatable. So it's not this like ultra dry, boring. Like we try to keep it as fun as you, I think, can keep. For anyone listening right now, God bless you, because like usually people hear tracking and they just glaze over and tune out. But we try to keep it relatable and like explain it in like terms that make sense and connect. And so thank you.
I'm gonna send you somebody that you should talk to after the show, or they should talk to you, is what they should do, and see if any help can be had, because that is a tricky dilemma that many of our health and wellness friends have been navigating over the past year. Brett, tell me this, man. We appreciate you making the time, coming on the show. People want to find you, they want to follow you, they want to DM you, talk, all of these kind of things. Where do they do that? How can they get a hold of you, my friend?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can always reach out to us through the TagHero website, taghero.io. My email is Brett with 2 T's, BRETT @taghero.io. So anyone's welcome to send me an email. I'm also on Twitter. I think it's Brett _fish.
It is
my X handle. So yeah, feel free. If there's anything we can do, support. Like I said, we do auditing and fixing and troubleshooting and all sorts of stuff. So, and we're always glad to start with like an intro call, a quick discovery on maybe what issues people are seeing or challenges they're facing, and then how we would approach that. So feel free to reach out. We'd always be glad to see how we can support you on it.
Awesome, Brett, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. We look forward to talking to you again, my friend.
The savior of health brands, some would say.
The man of data. He is a man of data.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
That data, man, that guy, I think I would trust my data with, if my meta needs a little wrangling and wrestling, I think that's the guy that I would trust it with. Man, he's got, I'll be honest. His expertise naturally pairs well with some of my weaknesses. I really enjoyed that conversation because of that. He's shining light on things that I tend to avoid because I simply don't have the knowledge to them. I try to stick to my strengths,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild that he even said, there's some things that I don't even think Meta knows why this is happening, which is somewhat frightening. And I would argue was point back to my very first point in the show where you need to stop investing so much time into Meta because they don't care about you. And they might not even know why they don't care about you is why I'm saying it. You need to maybe look at some other folks.
I am pro Meta. I'm pro Meta. I love him.
Yeah.
I love Zuck. Zuck, I'm waiting for my my Meta cowboy hat. If you want to send me a little infinity loop here on the front of the cowboy hat, make it blue. I'll rock it. I'll rock it for you. But there are some things that definitely take some wrangling and navigating. And like you said, so interesting. Brett makes the point. Yeah, some of the things, how they work, probably only 2 or 3 people know how they work or why they work that way, and they're not talking about it. So that's crazy.
Those guys are locked under NDA for life. They can't even say anything. It's like one guy in California that's like, I actually know how health and wellness category, and he's like, no, and he gets thrown to the side. Like, no, you don't. You're fine. Nope, don't say anything.
Yeah, if only someone knew some workarounds, how to possibly, solve the situation. No promises there, but it sounds like Brett Fish is the man to talk to. So
sounds like it.
Very interesting. Well, that was a great convo, and I want to have him back. Before we move forward, let's talk about Postscript, ladies and gentlemen. Focus is an amazing thing, isn't it? Yes, it is. When one focuses and obsesses over one thing, like Postscript does SMS marketing, you get outsized results. That's why when people make the switch, they see an average increase of 22% in revenue going from whatever partner where they do 6 or 7 things all together because it's convenient to an SMS partner who is solely focused on making SMS your #1 revenue generator. Now, I didn't see those results. I saw a lot more. Inside of a year, we became one of the top 1% accounts on their entire platform. CMO Mike is coming on the show very soon, this week, I believe, the 19th, perhaps. Maybe the Thursday. We'll have to see. I'll have to check the calendar again. And he's going to talk to us about conversational data as the new oil and all that Postscript is doing with their AI capabilities to make sure you are fully taking advantage of all of it. Go to postscript.io/SMS-benchmarks. Get some crucial data on your revenue band, your vertical, what you should be doing, and tell them Colin and I sent you. Many thanks for Postscript being part of the show. Colin, there is a new world's first AI CMO. And X had a lot to say about it yesterday. Boy, they did. X had a lot to say about this. I'm talking about Okara. And if you could bring this up for us, Jack, Okara is the latest tool that has debuted here with high promises. Okay. Now, let's be fair. Let's hear them out. Today, we're introducing the world's first AI CMO. Enter your website, and it deploys a team of agents to help you get traffic and users. Scroll a little further down, get a little more info here. Scroll down with us, Jack, as I read. AI has made building products easier than ever. With tools like Cursor and Claude Code, teams can go from idea to product in weeks. But one thing didn't get easier. distribution. So we built an AI CMO. Every day it runs specialized agents across every channel. Now that sounds good. I think we all like that. Specialized agents. We like it. I want a team of agents. That matters for your growth. SEO agent, GEO agent, AI writer, Reddit agent, Hacker News agent, X agent. I would say I hope there's, maybe some more capabilities outside of that, but starting very good. Normally, you'd need a marketing hire, SEO agency, content writer, social media manager, et cetera, et cetera. Going to cost you $160K per year. CMO does it for $99 a month. And that's just the start. We're already building agents for influencer marketing, link building, YouTube, LinkedIn, and more. AI CMO is live today. Now, I've got a few reactions here, Colin. Do you want to give your reaction first, or do you want to hear what others had to say?
I'll let you do it. I'll let you do it. I have a reaction to this. I'll let you go.
Let's see. Let's just see. Let's see what the Isaac Med had to say of Mini Katana and many other successful things. I'm personally really excited that my competition is going to continue getting dumber due to tools like this.
Yeah.
This is, a very funny reaction.
Oh yeah.
He's very happy that people will be using it. Jimmy Slag had this to say: more non-marketers building tools for marketers. Let's see how this one ends up! Exclamation point. And Colin Landforce, in similar vein, had this to say: your competition used to be incompetent people. Now it's incompetent people with AI agents scraping and generating it in a doom loop. Incredible time to be high agency and create value instead of whatever this is. Now, I will say, I think these are all valid responses. I think they're hilarious. And maybe there's something to it. But I mean, I do like the idea. I don't know what execution is going to look like. Maybe it is just incompetent people using AI agents in a doom loop that doesn't yield outsized results because they're not focused with high agency human learning attached to it. But I do like the idea. I just haven't seen anyone execute on this kind of idea yet at the level we all would like. Your thoughts, Colin?
I like it for brands. I think it could be a really interesting thing for brands to test out for the total cost that it is. It's $99 a month. I think a lot of brands struggle within these exact verticals specifically. We talk about paid ads. We talk about, landing pages and all of that. A lot of brands do not focus on SEO, GEO, Reddit optimization, hacker type of news, getting into the zeitgeist. I think there are some weaknesses within brands now where this fills, and the barrier to entry is so low at $99 a month that it's worth a test. It might not work. It probably won't, but it's worth a test.
I think this is a fair take because even if it's not that good, even if it's not that great, how many DTC brands are doing anything with SEO in the first place? Very few. Okay. Very few.
So then let's back it into the math. Say your AOV is $200. If this thing runs for a month and gets you one purchase, say it's horrible, it gets you one purchase, you basically pay for it.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
You basically kind of pay for it, and you're like, all right, cool. Well, I experienced AI agents. We tried to deploy it. It didn't really work. We could say we did it. This is exciting. I would give this a shot.
Here's another thing too. How many brands are really doing something on X? Very few. X is
maybe a handful.
Maybe a handful in a winsome way. Very few. GEO, I think that still comes with a large question box. Like, how is that different from SEO? I think people are still kind of figuring that out. Nope. I mean, very few people doing anything on Reddit. I think it would be worth rolling this thing out for your brand in places where you're already not doing anything. I guess the counter argument would be, well, maybe it does something that negatively affects you in some way. If it's rolling out corporate speak, I don't know, doing something that shows you're not core of core for whatever niche or target audience you're going after. I think it's worth rolling the dice though. I mean, hey, high promise, cheap price. mean, why not give it a try? Why not just give it a try and see how much yield you can get there? $99 a month, not too bad.
You want to get really, really tactical with this is go into your Ahrefs account or go to Ahrefs, search up your brand, figure out what the domain ranking is for your brand before you start this test, run this for a month, see what your domain ranking is after this month. If it's improved pretty substantially, you should rock and roll with this. If it's been the same, probably shouldn't rock and roll with this.
I think, this got, let's see, how many? This got 12 million views yesterday.
Jeez.
So, I mean, pretty significant distribution. Okay. Obviously, they're hacking, the timeline here because there's a lot of rage bait, smart minds that are skeptical for good reason. But I think the amount of views show, like, do we, and when I say we, I just mean like people in business, do we want this thing to exist? Like, yeah, like if I can get decent marketing in places that I'm not already expending energy and time and money. If I can solve at least some of that and make some good ground for $99, like there's plenty of people that will pay for it or talk about it or be interested in it. So, I mean, I think they're marketing something that people already want. The question is what's the results going to be? I'd be interesting to see. I'm interested to follow up on it and see. I'm sure there'll be a big thread that comes out very soon. I just did Okara for 30 days, and here's my results. Somebody's got to have that, I would imagine.
Good opportunity to diversify out of Meta. Good opportunity right here.
All right. As we move forward here, we did talk about Unilever and them expending 50% of their budget into social media now, biggest bet in consumer. Their desire at scale is what they're calling it, that their desire at scale. But there is another interesting story that I want to skip forward to here, Jack, and I am talking about the campaign from JCPenney. And yes, it is true. JCPenney is still alive. I did not know that JCPenney was still in business at the time of reading this article. They have taken their fashion show to Paris, but not Paris, France. They have taken it to Paris, Texas. And you may not have this background, Colin, but right now there is a very popular rom-com on Netflix where they do a dating show, not in Paris, France, as they were promised, but in Paris, Texas. And it is a big surprise, and it is a delightful romantic comedy. Did you know that?
No, that's awesome.
See, they're in the zeitgeist. See, they're following the trends, baby.
I like it.
And they have taken this on and put it on in Paris, Texas. I want to read some of this to you because I think you're going to like this as I read what's going on here. At the recent Paris Fashion Week, supermodels strutted down the runways and only the elite had front row seats. But last weekend, 5,000 miles away in a different Paris, the one in Texas, real Texans modeled spring's hottest looks at a fashion show where everyone was a VIP. JCPenney designed the other Paris runway as a direct counterpoint to the exclusivity of traditional fashion shows, instead celebrating covetable, affordable style for every body type. The other Paris runway took place in an open air field at sunset near a replica of the Eiffel Tower, with guests and models who were local residents styled head to toe in JCPenney. There were no velvet ropes or seating charts, and the actual prices of all the outfits were displayed. The 43 looks, including signature brands like Worthington and J. Ferrer, cost $8,700 in total, less than a single haute couture gown. Hair and makeup were courtesy of JCPenney salon and beauty artists. The runway show kicked off JCPenney's spring campaign, exactly what you are and aren't looking for, which says the real thrill of fashion isn't the dress you wear, but discovering other perks like affordable prices. Now, this comes in contrast to what they did last year, the other Venice wedding, while Jeff Bezos was celebrating his marriage in Venice and spending many millions of dollars. That whole show cost a total of $10,000. And JCPenney's chief customer and marketing officer had this to say: our customers aren't billionaires. We're for everyone else who still deserve the brand's quality, sizes, and prices they want. We're looking for moments to wake people up in different ways and poke at the elitism in culture and the frustration at that. Now, they're punching up I think it's interesting. It's creative.
Yeah.
I think it's the right kind of thing. I don't know if it was pulled off to the nth degree in the most winsome viral way, but I like this thing in general. And I think it's good that they're still alive and doing something in this vein to get noticed. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Putnam was on the show talking about brands doing interesting stuff. This is definitely super interesting. The fact that you have that kind of bait and switch of this is going to be a runway show in Paris, Texas, not Paris, France, I think is super funny. It's super hilarious. And we had Oren on the show yesterday, and he's talking a lot about the consumer basically not really caring anymore about these luxury status symbols. They just want high quality goods that they can have and wear for a while. And if JCPenney can actually fit into that slot and kind of categorize themselves as a high quality good that you can last for a while, kudos to them. Kudos to them for jumping on it and not being also afraid to punch up and make fun of a little bit of the zeitgeist that's going on, especially with Jeff Bezos' wedding. That was such a spectacle. And for them to just, make light of that and actually do something funny out of it, it's great. It's a great time to be that brand.
I think it would have been really cool if they had flown in the ex-Disney star from that Netflix show that, had the whole like a different Paris, whatever rom-com. If they had flown her in and had her there, I think that would have been like cherry on top. Probably cost a little more to make that happen. But I was thinking about this because of Oren's point yesterday. And everybody knows now. They know there's like high margins on this stuff, especially luxury. Okay. And so why not just like rip off a brand? Not rip them off, but make the same thing and make it half the price. And probably Gen Z is going to love you. I mean, if you're still
Quince.
cool and you're making the same thing, exactly, Quince. If you're cool and making the same thing for half the price, then there's going to be a lot of people that will whop out the dollars for you and celebrate the fact that you're significantly cheaper. It won't take them as, oh gosh, I don't want that. No. We're in 2026, a different economy, and there's opportunity to be had there. Next time, let's get that celebrity A-list, B-list star there, but celebrate the endeavor. I think it's very creative. Now,
just throwing her into the B list. That's.
I mean, well, I don't know. How many people are in the A list? I mean, I don't want to I don't want to sound like I'm out of the zeitgeist and don't know.
Jeez.
But I mean, she is a popular person. I cannot remember her name right now. Forgive me. But
Emily in Paris?
No. This was another one. Okay. I cannot remember her name, but she is a former Disney child star who has reemerged and is making cool content, movies, Netflix movies. Okay. Before we move forward to our last set of stories, let's talk about AMP. If you can't explain, ladies and gentlemen, your business in one dashboard in a sentence or two, do you really know how your business is doing? I don't think so. How is your CAC, your LTV? Are you trending toward forecast or not? Up, down, left, right? If you can't answer those questions concisely and quickly, then I'm not sure you know. And don't you want to scale with confidence in 2026? Yes, you do. You do. That's why you need to go work with AMP and get their favorite tool of mine, Lifetimely. They're going to allow you to answer all of those questions about your crucial metrics in one visually pleasing place and space. Questions from you, questions from your team, make you look like a big brain marketer, operator, founder, etc. Now, the good news is if you get their tool Lifetime, you get all their other tools for free, all designed to put profit back inside of your pocket. And what they are doing with their AI is phenomenal. It will be prompting you, my friends, this offer, this cohort, this product, let's cut it, it's a loser, etc. Go to useamp.com, get on that platform today, test drive it, and scale with confidence in 2026. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, Burger King is on a generational run right now. As Matt Epstein so poignantly pointed out yesterday, this tweet comes to us from the scaler and launcher of new software products, Matt Epstein. He says this: if you're in media, pay attention. May have slipped in a four-letter word there, to what Burger King is doing right now. This will be taught in Harvard Business School in 30 years. We have covered what they're doing with their president.
Yeah.
taking phone calls, taking suggestions. Jack, I want you to play this video for us because it is
And
goated.
how about the fries? And how about the fries?
Gotta fix the fries, ma'am.
And I don't know if it's the oil y'all are using.
One of the things that I hear a lot is, I want the 90s fries back.
The old fries were better.
Burger King's fries used to be the best French fries.
I can tell you right after this call, I'm going to go down to the kitchen. I look forward to talking to Chef Amy because she's a new chef for us, but she's been in the culinary space for 25 years. And I think we could do a lot better than this.
Let's go.
I mean, I've got my thoughts. What do you, after watching this, what do you think? What's it make you feel as you watch this from Burger King?
Two thoughts. This guy's going back into founder mode, and he's getting into the trenches. He's figuring out what's actually going on. The second thought is, this is exactly what Aman at Ministry of Supply was talking about. He's having calls with customers every single day, getting that direct feedback loop of what they should improve on. The greatest thing that they're doing right now is they're showcasing this. They're showcasing that the customer is being heard right now, and also that they're making the changes almost immediately. You can see in the tail end of that, we're working on the fries. We're going to make them better. So the customer is feeling seen and heard and feels like they actually have a piece of this process and bought into the actual success of Burger King moving forward. This is A+ marketing. A+. I'd put 3 pluses after it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Give him AP credit for going and getting his PhD from Harvard Law in marketing and all the things. Here's what it makes me feel, which that's what brand is, how it makes you feel, how you talk about it when, company's not in the room. This makes me feel that they actually care. They actually care about their product and are trying to make Burger King awesome. And what it does not make me feel is any kind of like whack corporate vibes. Like, we all hate whack corporate vibes, don't we? I don't think you're in e-commerce because you love corporate vibes. No, you're not. You're selling stuff and slinging stuff on the internet because you want freedom and you love that like nimbleness and actually caring about what you're doing. And, that was the complaint. When we were watching the McDonald's CEO videos, it's like, oh, it felt so corporate. He took a tiny bite, Like, does this guy actually eat McDonald's? The product, not the burger. This guy, like, and even if it's not real, okay? I don't know if this is actually real.
Probably is.
I mean, Burger King could have the worst corporate culture. I don't know, okay? But I know what I see on camera. And it looks like this guy cares. He's taking the calls. He's got the sticky notes. And then he's like walking down to the kitchen to talk to the chef. Hey, we got to get the fries back from the 90s. Make it happen. Yeah. What's the recipe? I love this. I love this.
Quite literally has his sleeves rolled up, going back into the kitchen. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. It's what you want to see. And I don't know what this guy's bonus is going to be, but I think he deserves whatever bonus he's going to get for this year, because this stock price is going to go up and to the right big time.
What I would love to see? I would love to see more brands not at the level of Burger King do this. Maybe they're already established winners in said space, whatever space it is. I mean, even just imagine this happening just in our little corner of the internet. And, Taylor Holiday's getting a call, and somebody's complaining about their ad account. He's like rolling up them sleeves, just walking back into the office. Hey, let's figure this thing out. Let's get in here. I mean, I love this. I mean, it's energy. It comes off as totally authentic. I think this is where we got to go. I don't know if it works, like, if you're not already like a fully established winner, like, or maybe you've been a winner for a long time and maybe the brand has kind of come down a little bit. I don't know if it works if you're not an already established winner, but I love this. And I agree with Matt here. I think they're going on a generational run.
Well, Aaron teased this earlier from Brez when he created this kind of ad format. I'm going to dub it as him. He created this ad format, and everyone was commenting, every brand should do this. And I am so serious. Every single brand should run that as an ad, and it's very easy to do. All you have to do is call your customers, set up a second iPhone that is recording you and your founder, having real conversations. Every single brand can do this. Burger King's just showing you on basically a massive corporate scale on what that looks like.
I'll say too, like this really comes off to me as like TV show-esque. I want to tune
I
in.
like it.
I want to
cool,
see what's
right?
happening with Burger King. I want to see the
I feel like he's
rise back
cool.
to prominence, baby. It's cool, man. It's
I
cool.
want to like have dinner with this guy. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like I'd love to just like jam out. Like he seems like the man, kind of.
We've got to find this guy. We've got to clip this segment, and we've got to find this guy and try to get him on the show. Don't you think
would
we should
love
do that?
Yeah,
We got to do it because
gotta get him on the show.
it comes off as totally genuine and authentic. I'm invested. Now that they are like, they're spinning this like, hey, we're on the comeback. Like, we have heard you. Like, we're investing in our restaurants. Like, we're, restaurant by restaurant, we're making them nice again. Like, we're going to change the fry oil or whatever's going on there to bring it back to the 90s. Like, I'm invested now. I want to see Burger King come back, baby. I never think about eating there when I think about fast food. Literally never. I mean, I did in the 90s, but not now. It's been a couple decades. Now I want to see him come back, baby.
Yeah. I'm ready. It's going to happen.
Story.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. This next tweet from Matt, he predicts this as well. Show us this here, Jack. Yes, prediction. Burger King is going back to beef tallow fries. Would be goated. Okay. Hat tip to Van Man if they do. They'll be the first major fast food chain to do it. When it happens, the entire health and food community will lose their minds. This feels like a page straight out of the Domino's Our Food Sucks turnaround, which made their stock go from $5 to $500. Generational money to be made here. I like it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's aligning, I mean, not to get too political, it's aligning immediately with what the administration wants, which is healthier food.
Yeah.
Eat real food, tallow fries. We had Van Man on the show, the man, the myth, the legend, talking about tallow fries, how much tastier they are. And I mean, it's true. If they debut those and say those are the only things moving forward, which is maybe what they're teasing,
maybe
the stock is going to explode. I mean, explode if they do that.
Give me Burger King. Buy Burger King. Bro, that's a stock worth investing in, baby. Give me tallow fries.
Give me all the tallow fries.
You know what they should do? They should go acqui-hire Van Man. They should just say, Van Man, you must join us. We want to. They should do that. Don't you think they should do that?
Oh my gosh, that'd be the best.
Wow.
Yeah. Great story.
I love it. Well, we're here for it, and we're watching. And President of Burger King, we love what you're doing. We want you on the show. We're going to clip this, and we are going to try to find you, sir, and get you on here because we love it. And the rest of the digital marketing, entrepreneurial business, online, et cetera, needs to see fit and follow your pattern.
Yeah.
Take notes. Well done, sir. Next two stories. This one's not so positive unless you're heavily invested, then probably it is positive for you. Meta is laying off about 20% of their workforce here. Okay. This comes to us from Polymarket. Somehow they have the news on everything that happens as it breaks the timeline. Meta stock surges following reports they're laying off 20% of the company due to AI. We've already seen with Block, like, hey, you want your stock to go up, lay people off and say it's because of AI. This is another example. Never want to see people lose their jobs. Hate to hear that. Hate to see it. I'm sure coming from Facebook, they will have other options available to them. And stock soars. I mean, if it's happening with Meta, it just happened with Jack and Square and Block. One would think this is only going to continue to be the case. You think so?
Brutal, but they have the playbook that they just laid out for you. If you want your stock to go up and to the right, just do layoffs and say the reasoning is because of AI, and your stock will go up and to the right. Unfortunately,
it's crazy how the world has changed so quickly.
Yeah,
it used to be like massive layoffs is like stock goes down. Now layoffs because of AI, stock goes up.
Yeah.
Well, last story of the day: Paul Saladino In the same vein of Eat Real Food, shareholder of Heart and Soil, and beloved member of the D2C e-commerce community, has just released a protein bar made from real food. We just cooked the protein bar industry. Most are candy bars in disguise, seed oils, gums, fake sweetener, sugar. Not Lineage. New protein bar, less than 200 calories, 20 grams of grass-fed whey plus collagen, 100% real food. No BS. Tastes incredible. Who's in? I mean, it does look good. I wonder, I guess it's sweet. I guess. I mean, it sounds like they got freeze-dried fruit in there and raw honey, coconut nectar. I don't really know what grass-fed whey protein is. I don't really know what that means. It makes me think of meat, but I mean, it looks tasty. I think it's an interesting competitor that has entered into the CPG era, and I think they are definitely trying to compete with David, is my guess. I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think they're going to try to compete with David, where we had Joe yesterday on the show, where there's two different categories that are trying to achieve the same thing, where one is basically, we're going to do all natural. We're going to have all, whole ingredients, and that's going to be the way we deliver protein. That's how Joe at Smearcase talked about it. And then there's going to be the other side, which is we're going to kind of biohack our way there. We're going to do some interesting things. We're going to get really good macros for you. And that's the stance David has taken. Obviously, Paul's on the other side of this, where he's the Whole Foods kind of guy. This is going to absolutely crush. This is going to go parabolic crush.
I think as long as it tastes good, as long as it tastes good, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to hate on that ingredient list. I mean, I doubt
it. As long as it tastes okay, actually. It doesn't even have to taste great. As long as it tastes okay. It just doesn't have to taste bad.
Man, here's the thing though. He does make a point in that some of these protein bars, brother, they do taste like candy bars. I mean, they taste good. They taste good. Yeah. I mean, you shop at Costco, right before you get to the checkout there is an entire block. There's like an entire aisle of protein bars that, I mean, there is literally a Oreo protein bar. And I got it, and it tasted as awesome as it sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
It tasted as awesome as it sounds. So I do think there is something to the taste. Like, it's kind of like Aman was saying earlier, only great products are going to win. Not every great product wins, but only great products are going to win. The high bar for taste now. I don't know how they do it, but somehow with fairy dust, very little calories and tastes like a Snickers from days of yore.
Yeah, the issue is, though, the actual macros of these bars have to be good. When I was originally working at Triple Whale, I would make my way down to Whole Foods and get one of these bars that you're talking about.
Yes.
I'm not going to name the bar. And I didn't even look at the macros. I was just focused on the taste. And I would get 2 of the bars a day. I was like, all right, cool. I'll get one for lunch and I'll get one as I walk home.
Yeah, you're healthy, right?
Yeah. After about 2 months of this, I'm gaining like a ton of weight. I'm like, what is going on? And I look at the macros of the bar. Each of the bars contained 45 grams of carbs. And I was having 2 of them a day.
Whoa.
And my fiance was like, yeah, you should stop eating those. You're basically just carb loading yourself for the whole day.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it tasted great. I loved it. It tasted very chocolatey, like a little chocolate bar.
Oh, let me ask you this. Do you think the majority American consumer, do you think that they are like educated enough to take that away? I kind of think not. If it says high protein and it says like no sugar and it looks like it tastes like a candy bar and the calories not that bad, I think it's like it's just an instant buy. It's like you were doing. It's like I am being healthy. Boom. And it tastes awesome.
I will give the consumer the benefit of the doubt. I think we're getting smarter over time. And so the consumer was smarter than they were 6-12 months ago about what they're putting in their body.
Yeah.
I think they're getting smarter over time. And as this kind of unfolds, it's only going to lead towards more pivots to these types of folks. Smearcase, which I had last night. Delicious.
Did you love it?
Yeah, I had the peanut butter. It was actually really good.
I need to go get some.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, you did a great job, I would say, connecting the dots today. You picked out themes across multiple stories, sir. I'm just saying. And
Yeah.
many thanks to Aman Advani, CEO, co-founder of Ministry of Supply, coming on the show. Many thanks to Brett Fish, TagHero, solving all of our data neglected problems when it comes to Meta. And many thanks to Incense, Inseguno, and Postscript and AMP for coming on. We're actually going to have CEO of Incense, Danil, on the show tomorrow. He is coming.
Let's go.
And we have other guests as well. Barry Hot, Bing Hot is coming
Yeah.
on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
We need to talk with him about everything that's happening in terms of actually getting our money back for Meta refunds. And I also think he's working on something that he's yet to like fully display to the world, that maybe he'll give us a little mashugana. He'll sprinkle a little knowledge for us on. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We will catch you tomorrow. See you on the other side.